time others join, let me recap or give whatever we did in the last class. Okay, so the time will go there. We learnt about requirements discovery and different ways in which you can discover requirements, interviews. Yeah, before that, some of you are sending your answers in WhatsApp. See, if you're finding it very difficult to read it from the textbook, in Bygoud, actually, B section ma'am, Sandhya ma'am, she has put notes for first module. You can refer that. I have no issues with that. Okay. After that, if I have anything, I will try to see your assignments and add. But most of the things are covered in the notes which ma'am has kept it in Bygoud. You can download it and refer to that. Has anyone downloaded or seen at least what is there? No one? No one has seen. Okay. So first module notes, ma'am has put it in the Bygoud. You can refer that. I have no issues. Okay. So you can refer to the notes and you can start writing your assignments. Actually, as I said, the first module is today I'll be completing the first module. Second module, you don't have too much. Maybe two classes. Monday I have, right? Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I can complete that in those 3 days. So you can start writing your assignments. And the second module is from the second textbook. So I will start it today. If I complete this early, then I will start with the second module today itself. There are certain things actually, and it is more of a repetition. So I will deal with that. Okay. Fine. So I hope you will see the textbook. Did someone see? I'm sorry, the notes which is available in the Bygoud? No one? Okay. Anyway, tomorrow is a holiday. You can check. Fine. Where were we? We were in the requirements engineering process. First topic you started was requirements engineering process, 4 steps. Which are there, and then you learned about requirements discovery. In requirements discovery there are 4 things: interviews, use cases, scenarios, and ethnography. You learn different ways in which interview can done, what is the use of the interview, what are the disadvantages of the interview, what is use case, what is scenario, what is ethnography, right? After that discovery, we came up with the second thing, that is nothing but a software requirements specification. That is what yesterday I taught you, last class I taught you. What is this software requirement specification? It is nothing but a written representation of what you want. Okay, it is in written representation of what the user requires. Fine. So there are different ways in which you can write a software requirements document. Can you tell some of them which I taught you? One was natural language. Natural language was like sentences, wherein you use sentences and like a story you write down the requirements, correct? Next, then we said when we write it in a natural language, we might miss out some things, and there is no consistency in writing the requirements. That's why we say better is to use structured natural language. What is the structured natural natural language. In structured natural language, there was a predefined format. Correct? A predefined format wherein they say what is the function, what is the input, what is the output, what are the steps, all that. So that is one way of writing the specification. Next was to use a tabular form. Now I said if you can write a specification or the requirements in a table format, like for example, there are some condition, post condition, but yes, it is a supplementary along with natural language or structured language. Then you have graphical notation. One example of graphical notation of getting the requirements is use cases, which you have already learnt. Remember, as soon as I say use case, it will be one man kind, doll kind with circle, that is eclipse, and a link between the actor or the stakeholder and that eclipse. So that is nothing but use case. So graphical way, in that way you can represent your requirements. Then you have mathematical specification, like your finite automata is one way wherein you can give the requirements in a mathematical format. So you can write down your requirements in different types, and those types are natural language, structured natural language, graphical notation, and mathematical specifications. Fine till there, all of you? Now, are you in what? Are you in the same level as I am in what I'm teaching? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Next thing is you have something known as SRS. This is known as Software Requirement Specification. So, this software requirement specification is a standard format wherein you write down the requirements. Fine. So this software requirement documents is an official statement of what is required by the system developers. So this is actually like a structured natural language representation. This comes under that category. It may also involve graphical notation. It is a combination. Okay, ma'am. Then what did we learn till? See, this is like a universal format which most of the companies agree upon. Okay, so always in any company, once you write your requirements, once you get to know your requirements, they are put in a requirements document. What does this requirements document do? It will give us what the system does, or what is required by the system, that is given within this document. Okay, who are the users of this document? You will see there are a n number of users who will use this document. Why do we require it? Can someone say why do we require a software requirements document? Generally, why do you require a requirements document? If it is in my head, it is enough, right? Should I document it? Yes, Aryan. Yes, pa. Do you have to write down the documents or you requirements in a document, or if you have it in your head, it is fine. You need not have to worry. I have to write. Why you have to write? Okay, good, Jeevan. So, Aryan, what your friend says, do you agree? Or do you have anything else? Yes, sir. Fine. Like anyone has to know. One is this. Any other reason why you know have to make everyone effective as I am? Yes. To make everyone others understand what is the requirement. Fine. It is also an agreement between the customer and the developer. Yes. That is one reason. It is actually signed. It is like a bond which is signed physically. I mean, sign means it is physically signed both by the developer. Yes, Chandrakant, future dispute between the customer and the developer. Okay. Fine. See, in between, I will ask you questions. Even if you don't know, just tell me, yes, ma'am, I am here in the class. It will let me know that you're really in the class or if you have anything. Yes, I agree. 1 or 2 minutes you will go drink water and come, or you have anything. I would also not say don't do anything. Sit here for from 9:30 to 6:30. I won't say that. But I just want to see whether you people are there. Just wake you up if in case you're sleeping. Fine. So I will be in between. I will see in the people who are all are here and I will just ask them. Even if you don't know the answer, just ping your listening. That would be more than enough. Okay. Thank you. So, what does this requirement document have? It will have both user requirements and system requirements. I taught you about user and system requirements. What is user requirement? User requirement, in one word, it will say what is the functionality required. Whereas in system requirement, it is the expansion of the user requirement. That is the constraint answer which or what and all is in turn required by that. Everything is explained in system requirements. Okay. I hope you know. Remember, I taught you user requirements, system requirements, functional requirements, and non functional requirements. Okay, so both these requirements, user and system, actually functional and non functional, will be put in the requirements document. And one thing you have to understand is this requirements document will tell what the system should do. See, this will tell me what the system should do, but not how. You will not say how to do within the requirements document. You will only say what the system has to be done. How will you do it and everything or achieve it is all explained in there is something known as next step in software engineering process, that is design, which will tell how. But in requirements, what you are doing is you will answer what the system should do. So this is what is answered within your requirements document. Okay, did you get it, all of you? So your requirements document will show what the system has to do rather than how. So you don't check it how it works or with, you are not bothered about it. You should not be bothered whoever is writing. You will just tell. Later it is up to the designers to think it is achievable or not achievable. What and all you want, even if it is achievable or not achievable, you don't think about it now. You will just write it down. Okay, fine. So who will use this requirements document? Customers. Yeah, customers means the people who will be using your product or the people for whom you are developing your product, they are the customers. Okay, so it specify the requirements and read them to check they meet their needs. Customers specify changes to the requirement. See, customers don't prepare the requirements document, they give the input. Okay, it is prepared by the company people or the developers. Okay, there. Now, once they develop, it is the job of the customer to check what and all he had told. It is put in that requirements document. What he would have told, he would have told what and all is required in collection, that is requirements discovery process, maybe through use cases as ethnography or interviewing. He would have given requirements at that time. He will not prepare the requirements document. It is the job of the company to prepare based on the interviews or whatever discovery they have done. Did you get my point? Who will prepare the requirements document? It is the developers or the company. Okay, so how they will come up with that? It will based on their discovery process, what they have done. Based on that, they will write it down. So once they have written it down, customer has to check it whether it is correct or not. He may say ABC. If the requirements engineer there has written as CBA, whose fault it is? It is the fault of the customer for not checking it, right? So he has to verify it, and if something is wrong, he has to specify the changes. Fine. So he will use the requirements document. Then the managers of the company. The managers document use the requirements document to plan a bid for the system or plan the system development process. See, for them, it is very important to know what is happening, what will happen. So that is why they will use this document. And also, they will bid. Based on this document, they will come up with a budget. They will plan ahead how much resources is required, if will it is possible or not possible. All their planning is dependent upon this document. Okay. Next is system engineers. System engineers, what they do is they study the requirements to check what is the system that needs to be developed. Okay, see, if there are 150 people working on the project, now all the 150 people will not be involved in requirements gathering. Agreed. There will be four or five who would have gathered the requirements. So how do they fill the knowledge or gap to the other remaining 140 people working on the project? That is through this requirements document. So the system engineers will understand how the system should be developed or what system they are developing, or how it should be developed. Everything through this requirements document. So it is not like that, right? Each and one who wants to know how the system works, they will go to the customer. No, they will see the requirements document and understand what the system should do, and based on that, they will come up with how the system should come up achieve that functionality. Then we have test engineers. The test engineers are what is their job? They have to check whether the requirement specified is working or not. So what these test engineers do is they will see the requirements document, and based on that they will do the testing. See, understand my scenario. There are 150 people working on a project. Out of that, 10 people are 1 second.
Good afternoon, all dear students, third semester students. No. Good afternoon, all dear students of the academic batch of 2019-20. So you will be passing out in 24, isn't it? 23, 24. So I think I had addressed you in the first session on NAC sensitization. So today, I thought I'll address you all after a long time. Actually, it would have been fine that physically I would have meet you all and I would have seen and addressed. So anyway, for some more time, I think we will all be meeting very shortly. Uh, we are waiting for the decision from UGC and from our Vice Chancellor, Karisiddappa of Vishweshwara Technological University. So anyway, I think we should be calling you all for laboratory sessions. We'll see how will divide the batches, and we'll call definitely as soon as we receive the circular, I will again come across to you all. And I'm happy to note that all the students, you are attending the classes, and many of the students are requesting few things. I'm happy to receive even that request. So definitely from October 1st, we'll give you the timing from 3 p.m. afternoon for you all to write the assignments. Is it clear? Hope, I think from 1st of October, 8th, 9th, 10th is your first test. So test also will be in the online. So we will see that from October 1st from 3 p.m. We'll see that you will be given the time for writing the assignments. And all our teachers, all our professors, I very working very hard in delivering their material, course material, with and content delivery is been happening in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering for you all, whether it may be from electronic circuits, ADA, data structures, and or data communications, software engineering, etc., etc. So I request one thing from you all: please be attentive. Just don't switch on your device, okay, whether it may be laptop or your standalone system or your mobile, and just for the sake of attendance you come at the end and do it. So please be interactive, and interact with the teachers, get to know how the concepts you have understood. So this is how the effective interactive based teaching learning process is effectively being happening here in the Department of Computer Science Engineering. So now, I think our two professors have addressed you all regarding the mini projects. So we are initiating the mini projects here, right from the third semester level for you all. I think Dr. Siva Kumar and Dr. Kirtika are the project coordinators. So dear students, you all have to scale up your skill now, because with this from this March, okay, I think it is already since 7 to 8 months, okay, that we are all with in the online teaching delivery process. Now the current trend is towards skill building and self learning process. So you all know that what is skill building. So today the IT industries are expecting the policies, the current policies that they are expecting from the students are with ABC policies. What is that ABC? You know, A is artificial intelligence and machine learning, B is blockchain technology, and C is cybersecurity. So dear students, so these are the three IT policies which are blended with the government policies, and it is these three requirements, that is the IT requirements are there, which will be there for another 10 to 15 years. And it is in these three fields that you students have to build up your skill building in these three areas. Is it clear? Because you know that the artificial intelligence and AI is aimed at providing a framework for inclusive, safe, and ethical use of the technology in the government domain, and building fairness, equity, transparency, and trust in all AI, that is artificial intelligence assisted decision making systems. Because all our browsers with which you are accessing the internet, whether it may be Mozilla, Firefox, whatever it may be, all those browsers are with equipped, embedded with AI rules. Thereby, you know that the way with which you browse, what site you are using, what time, how many times you are visiting those sites, are all the AI inbuilt rules that by which the outside person, the cyber security threat is been happening, and thereby the person outside the militarized zone is able to understand you, able to study you, and then he can impose attack on you and your system, your devices with which you are, whether you may use debit card, credit card to swipe for transaction, and all these the financial transactions now with this COVID era, it has been highly increasing. So which is there on the net, and none of the data is being secured. You all know that, because now all the data with which we are conversing are on the cloud. Every data is being which is on the public sites, that is your, it may be Twitter, okay, Instagram, Facebook, whatever the sites, social media sites, none of the data are secured. And you know that morning, yesterday, before yesterday, I had to talk to intelligent persons over there, and they were telling that they will, because some of your accounts were being hacked. 2025 students account were hacked. So I have your person Amit had spoken to me, and he said that he will help us out in this, making providing much and more security features to secure your personalized account. But only thing is, which from academic point of view, which I would say is that uh, don't disclose all your private data on your social media sites and Instagrams. Thereby you yourself will be provoking, and which will be much more prone to the attacks of, which is the another important domain with which the IT policies are looking it with respect to C. Is it clear, students? So, and coming to B, the blockchain policy, it is designed to bring transparency and efficiency to government processes, especially considering its huge role in e-governance, isn't it? That's why this blockchain policy has become more transparent in transacting the data, and it provides a fool's proof while sending the data, or while exchanging the data, which today, where the data has been exchanged in stocks and share and using Bitcoin currency, etc. So with this technology which is emerging, which has been used by all big shots of the IT shots, who are millionaires, billionaires, and who are contributing to the nation, their accounts have been hacked. Henceforth, this this blockchain policies have come into existence in providing fool's proof and transparency in the business process. And coming to the cybersecurity policy, you know that it aims to define the overall ambit of cybersecurity related agencies in the state through through formation of the security architecture framework. So howsoever our security architecture, we may have our antivirus softwares, firewalls, okay, been installed at our switches, router, or our demilitarized zone, the perimeter with which we are working, our IT, our here with respect to DSATM, our institution organization. But still, that there are attacks with which the firewall may be compromised through a packet, or may be compromised through active or passive attacks. Yeah, keeping these concepts, and you all know that if I want to speak with respect to AI and ML, I can speak for another 1 hour or 2 hour. So all the current applications with which we are conversing today, with respect to the domestic application, industrial application, railways, medical applications, are all with these machine learning techniques. So this machine learning techniques, these algorithms of machine learning has come into existence only with the underlying concepts of what we call as image processing and deep learning concepts. So that is a polished word of what actually previously we were using the neural network. Now it is the deep learning, deep neural network, deep learning. And the further we have come out with many, it may be your simple your mathematical matrix solving of computing the eigenvectors and eigenvalues of a matrix. Hope you all have computed. Dear students, you would have already gone through this. You would have computed this eigenvector or eigenvalues of a 3 cross 3 matrix or a 5 cross 5 matrix. So these eigenvalues and eigenvectors, which constitutes to the principal diagonal component of the elements, are nothing but what we call as our principal components. So these principal components are more than sufficient for us, because if it is a 3 cross 3 matrix which consists of 9 elements or 9 pixels, the principal diagonal elements constitutes only to 3 elements. So from 9 we are reducing it to 3. So just imagine a given data of size of huge bulk, which is of 64 kilobyte or 28 kilobytes. So this huge data, if we are taking only the principal diagonal elements, just imagine how much we are reducing the data size. So this is actually what we call as dimensionality reduction problem. So even today, this dimensionality reduction problem, what we call as the principal component analysis, now 2D PCA, 3D PCA. 2D is in with respect to X and Y. 3D PCA is with respect to X, Y, and Z axis. So we take these diagonal elements in X, Y, and Z, and today this is a 3D problem. So even it rules this famous machine learning algorithm. Dear students, remember and write down to your notebook. If you explain this 3D PCA and 2D PCA of computing the eigenvector and eigenvalues of a matrix, this is nothing but a famous machine learning algorithm, what we call as principal component analysis algorithm. Is it clear? And further, these eigenvalues are used to train to a neural network or deep neural network for classification or for recognition or for authentication process. So like this, there are this one algorithm I have explained you today in machine learning. Like this, we have n number of algorithms in machine learning. We together with AI rules can be embedded at either at the fusion level or fission level, wherein when we or at the initial stage, wherein we use cameras, we combine the cameras to extract the features. Okay, so multi-dimensional feature extraction. So this at this point also we can incorporate AI. So artificial intelligence, we have n number of rules. Modern Ponen rule is one. So this modern Ponen rules is nothing but which is a accumulation of cumulative associative, okay, properties of the fundamental basic mathematics that we have undergone in our earlier classes. So this, and also your fuzzy rules also comes here, which together with combining this mathematical rules, which actually form what is called as AI techniques. So dear students, keeping these in mind, so okay, today I have told you the three main domain ABC policies of the IT industries, which has embedded with the e-governance and IT industry policies, is that which will be ruling for another a minimum of 10 to 15 years. So all you dear students, 183 students, I have all of your access. I have all your mail ID, mobile number, okay, and I have access to your parents. So today only you have to do a thorough literature survey, and in these areas fix up your domain, and the project coordinators Dr. Kirtika and Dr. Shiva Kumar will address you, and you need to come out with a paper. So I will definitely mail you the links of our library access for these paper journals. You can go access these sites, download the papers in the latest paper, mainly 18, 19, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, 2017, 2018 up to this latest year. You can do a literature survey, keep it in your folder, and you can you can see that in which area that you may be satisfied to work with it, where you can suit it. It is not necessarily that you have to select only these ABC policies, but you can also shape your curricular with respect to networking, ad hoc networking, okay, growth and network, and also with respect to DevOps, website applications, web application client server network. Okay, so there are like this, and we have Internet of Thing architecture, IoT architecture. Okay, sending the three layers of IoT to cloud, from cloud to IoT, and controlling in turn with respect to your Android app. So these are the three the different fields with which shortly I have geared up you all, so that all of you need to focus in these areas, emerging areas, and scale up in building your skill. Because why I'm telling is, today when you come now it is 2021 is your third and fourth semester, 21 22 is your fifth and sixth semester, and 23 24 is your seventh and eighth semester. So by the time you come to 2022, so you should scale up, and you should see that you will have 3 to 4 projects in your hand. In your hand means in your Android app. So I'll be arranging alumni meetings, alumni webinars to you all, wherein we have many entrepreneurs, dear students, your seniors, Sachin, Okay, he has our, it is a department startup, printf, online printf. His startup was the first which has been recommended and been selected by IIM. Okay, IIM, that management studies, Banerghatta Road. You know, no? Have you heard that IIM? So initial, the pay package goes up to 35 lakhs per annum. So our project, our startup has been selected as the first priority. I will WhatsApp you that. So this is the skill that your seniors have built up here in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So I expect the same from you all students. I will attach you all to your seniors, because actually we'll see how best we will. You should have a conversation with your seniors, the current 7th semester students. So you should, and I have seen the developers club. Many of you have not enrolled. I have passed that developer student club, which has been framed by your own friend Akshita, okay, your senior, Akshita. The developer student club, because this is a club wherein you will be focusing your avenues in the latest technologies, and you will be getting into friends, into contact, and you will build up your skill, because the communication skill and also the contact also plays a major role today, because with this COVID time, all these are very much important. I have passed on to you developer student club. So there are no much enrollment I'm seeing, because what will you do? You have sufficient ample amount of time. So everything is in online. Please enroll to that, and have a conversation with you. That is the club. That is the way with which you will have an access to your seniors. Okay. From Dayanand Saga institutions, from DSATM, we have in CSC department, Akshita, who has a main lead role in that developer student club. Please enroll to that, have an interaction with her, and see that how you will scale up in developing the projects. So these projects will be taken as a creative assessment. Okay, and this will be considered for 25 marks. I think the project coordinators have already discussed with you all, and by now you should make a team of projects of 4, and you should be start building up the projects, because self learning, we do not put entirely onto you all to just build up your self learning skills. We will assign the guides. We will see that you will all do the projects, okay, by interacting with your project guides. Anytime you can also interact with me and the project coordinators. Will guide you as to how to take it. Okay, so you can use all the latest tool, okay, Python, Java, okay, scripts, okay, or you can use all these, okay, Amazon, and you can use all these Java, where the latest trends of tools can be used for coding in these emerging areas. Is it clear, dear students? Because self learning with skill building is you should be main motto. It is not that we will not impart the skill from our side. So you should interact with us, and it should be seen that as an outcome of it, we will definitely consider for your improvement in the internal assessment marks. Dear students, don't think that you will this time also you will not have an examination. Last semester, second semester, you were all blessed with a God given gift. You all went on to the higher semester without examination. Don't think that the VTU will not come back. They may impose some other norms for the second semester subjects later. But as on today, for the third semester, definitely you will have examination. Please, in the month of February, March, I mean January, February. So understand the skills, attend the classes regularly, interact with the teachers, and I'll be expecting your group formation as given by the deadlines by the project coordinators, and you should submit the synopsis and start implementing the project. So this is with respect to mini project and creative assessment, and the skill that you need to build up by acquiring the self learning process. And I'm also happy to note that you dear students, many of you all have enrolled in Coursera, and I have stored all your certificates. And yesterday I impinged my professor Dr. Kirtika for some of the students have registered in NEP, and you have also got the certificate. While enrolling, please give the name with your USN. Okay, I understood that the name and the college name was not coming, but please once again you put it, and all these will carry weightage for you all for creative assessment. So apart from this, Coursera you do it, NPTEL, MOOCs, okay, you please enroll and go on doing your self certification, which is mainly unsupervised learning of your program. Is it clear with respect to your skill building? And coming to your placements, dear students, hope all of you are hearing. Are you hearing, dear students? Harshvini, Manik Chauhan, Niharika, Kaushit, Tejasvi. Yes, good, good. Nagendra, Harshvini, Kopparu, good, good. Good man. Shriya, where are you, Shriya? Yeah, yeah. Dear students, coming to your placements, I had a long talk with the placement officer, okay, our placement director, Guru Venkatesh. Okay, so what he has told is that I'm telling to you all, each and every student has to enroll to Hacker Earth. Hacker, Hacker, Earth, EARTH, Hacker Earth, Hacker Code, and Hacker Rock, ROCK, Rock. Is it clear? Please register yourself. All of you, please, your placement activities will start from 22 23. So all of you, I impinge, I expect each and every student to enroll to this Hacker Rock, Hacker Earth, Hacker Code, and start uh, executing the programs in in-depth coding skills in C++, Java, Python, or whatever it may be. So because today, gone are the days, your seniors, you know that they have all bagged up to 20 lakhs per annum. I am not drawing that, but your seniors are drawing. They have already been placed. They'll be getting offer letters. So, dear students, so in order to scale up today, what the from the placement department they are telling is that in depth, gone are the days just with respect to aptitude, skill, communication, etc., etc. Yes, that is also required, but now again they're coming. This was there 8 years back, 8 to 10 years back. This in-depth coding skills was thoroughly being checked by the IT companies. Now again they have come back. So in-depth coding skills is very much aptly required by the computer science engineering students. So henceforth, see to it you will develop the skills, debug, and should be in a position to given a mistake, that is error code, you should be in a position to debug the code, correct it, and say this is what this line, this error is there. Is it clear? And this Hacker Rock, Hacker Earth, they themselves, IT companies will be looking at these sites, and then and there only you may get the offer. Is it clear? So, apart from our institution, the Anand Sagar Academy of Technology and Management, apart from here, our own institution, imparting for you all placements from sixth semester, you will have another wing also in this Hacker Earth, Hacker Code, Hacker Rock, wherein you can build up your skills, showcase your skills, and IT companies will directly be recruiting you from these websites. Is it clear, dear students? So gear up, please don't waste the time. You have got sufficient amount of time. Okay, please don't waste the time. Utilize every minute, every second, and see that you will come out with this in-depth developing of skills in coding. You should be master in, because C++ they are expecting, Java they're expecting, Python not very much today, but still it is there, not that it has not gone out, although Python is a big buzz of today IT industry. But in-depth skill in Java, C++, they're also expecting a lot. Henceforth, scale up, do it well. And apart from that, you should gear up to do the mini projects. Okay, so I have made these points clarified to you all, dear students of the class batch of 19, 20, 23, 24. Is it clear? Who will be passing out in 23, 24? So gear up and be attentive. Anyway, from October 1st, we'll give time for you all to write the assignments. huh? And laboratory sessions also, please, because tomorrow you should not repent. I had that laboratory, I didn't learn anything in that laboratory. Clear? All 12 set of questions, 15 set of programs, you should not repent it. See to it you will learn each and every line of the code of every program, master it, and then build up your skills. Thank you all. Thank you for your patience listening. This I wanted to make it clarify to you all with respect to play code, hacker earth, hacker rock, and mini projects. Is it clear? Thank you all. I thank Professor Shilpa and Professor Manasa in coordinating this event for addressing you all students. Okay. It is not unlike that in the second semester you had C programming in C, something you did like that. I do not expect the same thing here in this third semester level. I will be seeing to you all. I'll be talking to your parents. Okay. Please see, you be attentive and get up. Thank you all. I request Professor Shilpa and Professor Manasa to continue in their classes. Thank you all. Saka, saka.
Okay, guys. Fine. Shall we continue with the class? Okay. So we were here. So who are the users of these requirements document? First one is the customer. So the customer, what can he do? He can check and see if any changes are required. Then we have managers. Now the managers, why do they require the requirements document? To plan ahead. Plan ahead in the sense what and all they want to do. Okay, like how much will be the cost, when will be the start, when will be the end, how many resources are required, that is people. All that can be got from this requirements document. So the managers use it to plan their development process. Then we have system engineers. So why do these system engineers require? They will know what the system has to develop. That is what I was trying to tell previously. Now there are 150 people working in a particular project. Now not everyone can go to the customer and say what is your requirement. Give. Not 150 can go and ask, right? So it is only a group of 5, 10 people might work and get the requirements. Now how will that the 10 people who have okay, Saif, fine. Okay. So how will the remaining 140 people get to know the requirements? That is through this requirements document. That 10 people who have understood the requirements will document it, and they will check for the correctness. Ma'am, is it, if it is wrong, people who have document, if it is wrong, that is why the customer is there. The customer will check whether what they have documented is correct. So once it is done, it will be circulated to remaining 140 people who can see what the system has to do and what are the requirements, right? So the system engineers are the people who will develop the system. Now before developing, they have to know what they are developing. That is given by the requirements document. Then we have test engineers. See, testing is done by, if it is a very big project, there will be a group of users who will do the testing. They are known as testers. So what they have, Now, what is the input? What is the output? What is the functionality? If they don't know, can you test it? No, right? Where will they understand the system to test? That is through the requirements document. So, based on this document, they will develop something known as test cases, which you'll learn later. And they will check now if there is one requirement which is given in the requirement document and that customer is also agreed to it, they see that whether what has been agreed is currently working in the actual system or not. So, how do they check it? Through this requirements document. Then we have maintenance engineers. The requirements understand the system and the relationship between the parts. Maintenance engineers means, let's say I have released one product. Okay, after 1 year, you want to add something more to it, more features to it. Naturally, right? No product will be stagnant. Do you agree? All products require some changes or new things to be added to it. Will you use outdated products? No. So once we want to add new features, the maintenance people they have to add new features to the existing one. Where will they know what is the existing system doing? That is through the requirements document. So the maintenance people, if something goes wrong or something like that, all that is given or all of that they can manage through requirements documents. Yeah, okay with this? So all these people require requirements document. Who are they? Customers, managers, system engineers, test engineers, and maintenance engineers. Agree with it? Now, variability, information in requirements document depend on the type of the system, the approach to development used, all that. System developed incrementally will have less detail in requirements document. Now, there is one important thing is most of the requirements document use a standard known as IEEE standard. Okay, they are mostly applicable to the requirements for large system engineering. What is this IEEE standard? IEEE standard will be something like this. Every document they will have so many chapters. One is the preface, the other is the introduction, then you have glossary, then user requirement specification and architecture. Okay, so this is given. So most of the companies have their own format for requirements document. After that, you have till year. That is how many were here? Previous. Sorry, one, two, three, four, five. Then you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10, 12, 10 headings here. So you have to fill all the headings in the requirements document. You might say some cases, ma'am, it is not applicable. Yes, those cases you will leave as blank. But the standard format of IEEE for a requirements document will be like this. Why do we require standard document, ma'am? See, most of the time, if everyone have their own format, it may be problem that those things are not covered. Let's say, for example, a company has developed one format, requirements in their own format. Later, it is acquired by someone else, or the customer wants to give the product to some other company apart from the host. They need that things details and information, right? So if each of them have their own, it will be very difficult. Not only that, people also working today, software engineers attrition is it's so high. By the time one people is working and come up with half requirements, there will be another person who is added. So each of them, if they have their own way, it will not be easy to follow. That's the reason they have a format or structure. So what is the format for requirements document? First section is preface. Now this will tell what is expected of the system. And not only that, it will say version. Most of the time it is just one simple. What is the product name along with the name during the creation, who are the people who have created, which is the new version, when was the changes made it, if this is version 1, then if it is if there was previous version, what were they, when was that developed, who are the people who have developed this requirements document. Details of all that will be given in preface. Introduction, it describes the system function, okay, and how it works with the other system, okay. Basically you are telling how the system fits the overall business or strategic objectives of the organization, okay. That is given with an introduction. So what the system does, where it is, what is the business use of the system, why they are developing, so those things is given in introduction. Glossary, glossary is nothing but technical terms. Now there are certain important terms that you will be using, right? So all those will be given within glossary. User requirements, it describes the services provided by the user. See what and all we said, requirements. It is given in the document here, but only thing is it is fitted properly within the headings here, so that nothing is missed and it is ordered or it is in formatted. Okay. See, if I give you some document without proper, if I give you notes, let's say, and each section notes is in different pages. What do you say, ma'am? See, this is not what I cannot understand. Give it properly, something like that, right? So this format will allow us so that there is no confusion. You can understand properly. All that is possible. Okay. Next, you have system architecture. So this gives the high level overview of the system architecture. See, it will not say how the system will be developed, what the system is doing, that it will reflect through a high level architecture and different modules which will be there. Why is this required? Because in case if you're reusing some modules of some other product, that has to be highlighted. So that is given within the system architecture. So, did you understand what is preface? It is like heading, introduction, main, why, what is the system, function, why you are developing it, those things. Glossary, technical terms. This is user requirements. So, next is architecture. Next, you have SRS, that is software requirement specification. This gives functional and non functional requirements in more detail. Okay, you gave the user requirements. Ma'am, here previous slide also you said requirements. Now also you're telling here you are giving user requirements. Fourth one. Okay. In sixth one, what are you giving? You are giving system requirements. I hope I've made it clear what is user and system requirements. User requirement in one line. System requirement, you explain that user requirement. It is in broader sense. Okay. So sixth one is system requirements. Then you have system models. Here it gives a graphical system model. What are you going to develop? Okay, that and system components. Excuse me. The system components, its environment, how is it affecting, all that is given within system models. My project or system requirements does not have it in my product what I'm developing. Yes, in those cases you can leave it as blank or say not applicable, something like that. Okay. Next, system evolution. In six In evolution, it describes the fundamental assumptions on what the system is based and any anticipated changes due to hardware evolution or changing user needs, something like that. See, you are developing an app. I'll give you an example. You are developing an app for current Android OS. Okay. Let's now, do you think while you're developing that this Android OS will never change? Always it will be the same? No, right? The operating system may evolve and you will anticipate those changes and say, in case if there are changes, yes, yes, I can also make changes within my product. These changes are in this module. Can't you, will you not anticipate? That is what system evolution does. Here you say what are the future changes may happen and what are the provisions you are giving for them to change. Okay? Or what provision needs to be given for future system changes. So that is what is given here. Fine. Appendix, it is nothing but help. It is related to the application hardware's database descriptions or anything which is required to the system. I hope you know what does appendices mean. Index, wherever you have used some things, so diagrams, functions, all that, the index for the document will be included. Am I clear? So, whenever you are writing a requirements document, you can't write 2 pages of simply paragraph writing. No, you will write a document which will have all these sections: preface, introduction, glossary, user requirements, system architecture. Yes, am I clear? Any doubts still here? Yes, what happened? Okay. The others, you're sleeping. So next time I will give you an exercise. I'll give you a product name and I'll ask you to write a requirements document for that. Will you be able to do? Yeah, maybe. Uh, Once I finish my first internal portions, I'll show one of the real-time requirements document. How does it look? Okay, fine. So I'm done with requirement specification. All these things. Last topic what you have is requirements validation. Now what do I mean by requirements validation? Now it is concerned with checking whether the system, the requirements that have been defined is what actually the customer is expecting. It is nothing but checking to see whether the requirements are proper or not. Okay, why we have to check, ma'am? What if there are some mistakes? Nothing will happen. No, we all make mistakes. So in requirements also, if there are mistakes, okay, mistakes are forgiven, nothing will happen. Is it so? Yes. Will you say sorry to the customer and you will say nothing will happen, you take this product? Can you say that? No, requirements is you cannot make mistakes in requirements document. They need to be validated. Why? Why? I will tell you real time. The rest of the text you can check. Okay, what I give you this story is what it means. So listen to this. See, today I might make one, there are 10 requirements which I have to develop in the product. 10 things. Okay, 10 is too complex. Let's take a simple project with 5 requirements. Fine. So the people, five people are working on the 5 requirements. So that the fifth person, one person who is working is very lazy. He is not collected the requirements properly. Somewhat last day he sees, okay, something I will write. Let me finish it off. Even if it is wrong, nothing will happen. No one is checking. There is no validation. I will write it and finish. Four of them will promptly do. The other one is very lazy. He will simply write. Okay, done. Requirements documentation. You will say, yes, yes, discovery, interview, everything I have done. Now, document done. So no need of validating, ma'am. You will say no, no need of correcting, ma'am. Give me 100 out of 100. Like that, he is also fine. They did not check after the requirements. What they did, they came up with a design. Okay, then people started developing it also. Now it has been developed. They tested it and it is working perfectly. What is written in that document, it is perfectly working like that. No change. Is it now the people who have designed the system, did they do any wrong? No, whatever the requirements is based on that they designed. The person who did the actual coding, he saw the design. He says the design is perfect. According to that, he wrote the code and he finished. The testing person who comes to test that module, he sees the requirements, he sees the code, he does the testing. It is perfectly working like what is given in the requirement. Now, is there any problem? No. Last, after testing, unit testing, integration testing, it will go for product testing. Product testing means customer is checking whether it is correct or not. When the customer checks and sees it is not what he wanted, it is something else, it is completely wrong. Now, whose mistake is that in this case? Testers, developers, or design people? Who made the mistake? Yes. Did you get my story what I was telling? Tester's mistake? No, Ankit. Tester will test based on what is there in the requirements. That's why I understand. In requirements, it is says A plus B is equal to C. In requirements, it says like that. Okay? Tester will check whether A plus B is giving C or not. And for him, he is getting C. It is correct. But in requirements, what it is said, A plus B is equal to C, it is not like that. A plus B, let's say it is something like A plus B is equal to A plus B only. But who has gone that requirements has written it wrong. So what can the tester do? He verified it according to requirements. If it is correct that requirements, he cannot check that, right? So who made the mistake? The person, no, developer develops. Okay, Latas, I will take. The developer develops based on what is given in the design and in the requirements, what is there. In the requirements and the design, it clearly says A plus B is equal to C. So what can developer do? Whatever is there, he is trying to implement it. Whether it is correct or not, why will he try to get? Kavya, you're selling customer. Customer did tell the requirements collector while giving A plus B is equal to A plus B only. Okay. But those who wrote in the document wrote it as wrong that A plus B is equal to C. It is the requirements, a person who wrote the requirement specification or the person who gathered the requirement and who wrote it. Now, when it goes to requirements collector or wrote, he will say, I wrote it. You people should have checked it. Say, for example, that person has left and gone the company. Yeah. Then the customer, the new one says, we don't know, you should have checked it, validate it. Now, assume I give you 100 out of 100. Okay. But actually, your answer script carries only 60 marks. Wrong way I have given marks. Is it your mistake? It is my mistake, right? The person who has evaluated. You will say, ma'am, I will say later after some time I will change it. Will you allow? Ma'am, first time you should have checked it properly. How can you take now do that? Right? So that is the reason it is very important to validate the requirements that are collected. What happens if we don't validate? The mistake carry forwards till the testing stage. That is, if you had checked the mistake in the requirements document itself, it would have not gone to design, it would have not gone to development or implementation, it would have not gone to testing. Now so much resource is wasted on that. Okay, ma'am. After that customer says it is wrong, we will correct our mistakes. If you want to correct our mistakes, who and all has to make the changes? Yeah, only requirements. If you don't make changes, it will not work, right? The design should be changed because that is where from this requirements came from. Once the design is changed, the development has to be changed because the developer saw the design and then wrote, um, coded it. Then the testing also has to be done to check the made changes. Did you get it? Okay, if you did not get that, I'll give you another real time example. Now, in an architecture plan, house construction, okay, fine. Let's say, for example, they came up with a plan. As a person who is constructing the building, you did not see the plan and gave an okay. Next, what they do, they come up with the, you say what and all, and the requirements they've not gathered, the design or something they've not checked that. They will begin the construction. They will hand you over the plot. And till then, you have not seen what is there at all in that building. At last, when you go and see, and it is not what you wanted, then what will happen? The construction, the design, everything has to be changed. Now, when we may have to make changes in all the places, cost will be more, effort required will be more. Agree or not? So, rather than doing all that problems, encountering it, do requirements validation first. As soon as you are finished with requirement specification, do the requirement validation. Why? Otherwise, the problem gets mitigated to design development and testing. That is why you need to do requirements validation. Am I clear now? Did I make it clear to everyone? Yes? Now you can read these slides. What is validation? Checking validity to see whether the best supports the customer needs. Are there conflicts? Conflicts in the sense one says A plus B is equal to C, the other requirement says A plus B is equal to A plus B. Both things are there. Isn't it a conflict? So you should make sure that A plus B is equal to one answer you are getting. That should be clear. Okay, so there should be no confusion. The requirement should be clear. That is consistency. That is, there are requirements are defined in n places. In n places also, it should be the same, not contradictory. Completeness, everything should be included. Realism, can the requirements be implemented given the available budget and technology? Something which is unachievable, okay, that cannot be put here. You should check it. I mean, yes, some things technological wise you cannot. But if you say, I will get you a latest configuration laptop, budget is only 10,000, is it achievable? Is it real? Will you get any high end laptop, current technology laptop for 10,000? Is it possible? No, right? You can't put such kinds of statements within your requirements. You, even though you're not technically, you don't know anything about laptops, will you not have an idea that you won't get it for such small amount? Something like that. So you should take care of all this. Now, verifiability means now when you have given the requirements, you should also say check whether that requirement is testable or not. Simply, you cannot say this is done. How will you test whether you're done? For example, if you say I have understood, it's not like that, right? We verify whether you have understood or not by asking you questions or saying give a presentation tomorrow, or we give you test exam, we check your marks. So it is verifiability. So there should be a very way to verify your requirements also. Agreed with it? So your requirements should be checked for all of these. Validity, correct or wrong, consistency, with always the same. Everything should be included, completeness, realism, it should be practical, verifiability, it should be testable. Yes. So how do I check my requirements validation? Okay, ma'am, how will I check my requirements document? One is review. Review means read that document and see whether it is proper. Okay, either you read, you give it to your manager, you give it to your colleagues, you give it to the customer and analyze it and see whether it is proper. Fine. The second way may be like prototyping. That is, come up with a model of the system and see whether everything is covered. So when we come up with a model, while try to come up with a model, you will see whether there is a confusion with two or three requirements. So that is their prototyping. But yes, more time and cost will be involved if you use prototyping. Fine with this? Next is test case generation. We develop test cases to see whether actually we can test it or not. You will learn more about it in coming classes. Okay. So we develop how if I say I'm checking a plus b is equal to c or a plus b is equal to a plus b, then I will say like I give a1 value, b1 value, and I will check whether this and that and all. So you will develop test cases in that case. So these are the three techniques. Most commonly, we will use reviews and test case. Prototyping also we will use, but the thing is, it will be a little complex and time consuming. Okay. So I think you don't have reviews. Let me check. Okay. So this is how reviews we can do. That is the first step. How do you check? Through the reviews. Yes. I'm sorry. Formal or informal, we ask them to check it. Okay. What we are going to check, verify it, trace it, adaptable or comprehensibility. So this is what we check for in requirements. I think I've covered all of this. Next is requirements management. So what does it mean? It means that managing the changing requirements. That is during the requirements engineering process and system development. While you're collecting the requirements and you're developing the system, it is, even though I say that yes, it should be checked, everything has to be done, there are most of the chances that you will miss some things or some things will change. So it may be that is when the new system, you should be able to manage those changing requirements. If a new requirement comes during the process of during the process of development, then you should be able to add it. You should not say no, this cannot be done, I will not work on that. So you cannot say like that. Okay, you should be able to add the, your system should be flexible enough to take those changes. So that is nothing but requirements management. Okay, now New requirements will emerge as the system is being developed. You need to keep track of individual requirements, maintain the links between dependent requirements so that you can assess the impact of requirement changes. You need to establish a formal process for making the change proposals and linking these to the system requirements. See, what happens is, what does it mean is, if there is a change in the requirement, it will go back in the requirement document when you're developing. There are some changes. Already 25%, let's say, I am developing a product. Okay, requirements are gathered. I've started with the development. I'm done with 25%. During that time, I analyze something and I need to add that. If I need to add that new requirement, simply you cannot add. Once you add it, if you add a new thing, it may affect the existing things. Don't you agree? Yes, let's take for your housing construction. If you are building a building, you have almost 25% is over, foundation is over, first floor is over, and you're coming up with the second floor. You want to make some changes means you have some new requirements means simply can you make those changes in the building? No, right? Existing structure you have to take it into picture and then make those changes so that it will not affect the existing building or something like that. Correct? The new changes will not be independent, they will be dependent. So that is the reason once the new things comes, you have to check whether it will not impact the existing or what impact it may cause. That you have to check, and only then you have to do the changes in the requirement. Simply blindly you cannot change the requirements. Okay, why does this happen? The business or technical environment of the system always changes. That is, the business or the customer says, now our third party was something else or acquired, now it is new. So they may give you new requirements at certain point of time. That is the reason you have to take care of those changing requirements. The people who pay for the systems or a user of that system are rarely the same. That is, see, as an end user, there may be changes. Your customer might by change, your customer maybe has sold his company or something like that might happen, which leads to new changes. So if you at that time you can't say no, I can't do anything. Yes, changes will be there and there will be a cost associated with that change. You should be able to accept it. Then large systems usually have diverse user community with many users having different requirements and priorities. They may be conflicting or contradictory. Yeah. See, there will be for, let's say, for example, the same product is used by so many people at so many places. Based on the place where they are using, it may change certain things, or maybe there may be some certain things which you need to prioritize or change. So, in those cases, your requirements will change. So, this is how initially understanding the problem, you have initial requirements. Then you have changed understanding of the problem, and then you'll have changed requirements. That is why requirements will or document will have version. The initial version will be there, later some changes will be made. Okay, and based on that you will have a new document. Maybe this is version 1, this is version 2. After this maybe there are some changes like 2.1, something like that. So it goes on changing, requirements keep on changing. Yes, there will be a cost, but we should try to minimize that cost. So requirements management planning, identification, a change of management process, traceability process. You need tool support also. Now, tool support in the sense simply document, yes, there are there. Nowadays modern tools are available to manage the requirements. Okay, it is out of your scope, so I will not go into detail. So which will automatically handle all your requirements. Those are available. Deciding if requirements change should be accepted. Yes, problem analysis and change specification, change analysis and costing. You will see what is the problem and where the change is required. Then you will analyze what is the cost and then you will implement. Certain times during this analysis, you might say that the change is not possible. Yes, it you can say that certain things, certain places, changes will not be possible. Okay, at that time the customer may say he will stop using your product or he may go to the someone else. So it is a very difficult phase. So you will, once if you say yes, the changes can be done, here you will analyze what are the changes. I mean, what is the change you will check. Here you will analyze and you'll get the cost. So once if they say yes, I can change, then you will implement the changes in the last step. So this is how the change management takes place. So this is how the diagram is. Manasa, ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? Manasa? Okay. You identify the problem analysis, and you give the change specification, that is change, what are the changes to be made, you change it in your requirements document. Then you analyze the change and costing, that is actually where you will make the changes and what is the cost involved. Yes, if you say that yes, I can make the changes, then you will make the change in the implementation. You will give the revised requirement. Okay. Any doubts? Is it okay? Yes or no? Do you understand? Now, compared to previous classes, first week or second week, now did you get what is software engineering subject? Or did you get what is requirements engineering? Am I clear with that? If not full, at least little bit did you get it? At least 70% of what is this within this topic? What is there in this module? I hope that at least you understood. Fine? Okay. So this completes your first module. Yes, I know that I took more time for first module because the subject is somehow I felt that you needed more time. Okay. But from now onwards, I don't think so it will be that very difficult for you. So first module, you can refer to the notes which is there in the Bygod and you can start writing your assignments. Second module, only thing is you have to understand what is OOPS concept. If you know that it is very, very simple, you don't have much writing also there. So you can prove. So I think next week I can complete that module. Okay. You have three chapters, very small chapters. So three class, 3 days continuous 2 hours. I think I will be able to do it. Am I fine with this first module? But I know that you might be in a little bit confusion, something overlapping you feel. But that's the reason I'm telling, please go through the textbook. Now at least you have the notes. Please go through the notes at least. Okay, you will get an idea of what you will be doing. Otherwise, it is really difficult to just understand. Now all the recordings are available in your I think I've shared the entire folder. I think all the recordings are available, so you can access them. No issues with that. Okay. So shall I take your attendance? Fine. Lesson one. Not that. Lesson one. Okay. Two. Yes. Three. Three is not there. Four. Five. Six. Seven. Eight. Nine. 10, 11, 12, 12, 13, 13, 3 I marked you present. 13 is absent, okay. 14, 15, okay. 16, okay. 17, 18, 19, 19, 20, 20. Yes, sir. 13 I marked you present. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26,